Soccer sponsored by Arnold Clark. I'm Peter Martin, delighted to have your company on this Thursday. Alan Ruff and Gordon Smith are with me to discuss and digest today's headlines. So a lot to get our teeth into. It was last night, eventually, when they confirmed at Dens Park that Jim McIntyre would be the new manager. Still talks with John Nelms for Billy Dodds as assistant. Don't think there'll be too much friction in getting him in as well. They are, of course, a partnership, and the remit seems to be now, you're the new Dundee manager, get us to 8th at least.
Yeah, they've acted very, very quickly. Obviously, having known, and Gordon will know, a process of bringing somebody in, there's a lot of things you've got to consider. So I was surprised that it all happened so quickly. But Jim will be a good choice up there, and I'm sure the fans will get right behind him. I'm sure Billy will join him eventually. As you said there, they are a partnership. He's got a hard one in front of him. Obviously, we saw Dundee this year, and they haven't been particularly impressive.
Well, Neil McCann's assistant's gone too, so he will need an assistant, and I'm pretty sure he'll bring in Billy Dodds, because they did a very good job at Ross County working together. They were a good partnership. I felt they were very unlucky to lose their job. But as you say, Ruffy, it was a wee bit a strange one that, Neil McCann being put out, because I felt, he had got them a win against Hamilton, and then I felt Kilmarnock was an unlucky defeat.
Yeah.
When you look at it in terms of circumstances.
Referee's intervention, Gordon?
Could be a bit of that, yeah. That was a referee made a mistake, obviously, but the player was the one that had cheated on them and got the sentence of 2 games.
Yeah, Jordan Jones.
Yes, Jordan Jones got 2 games suspension from it, but you have to say that they were unlucky that day. So you look at it and think, is there a revival coming? But obviously the Dundee board didn't think there was, and decided to make the change.
And the other thing about it as well is you get to a situation where you get 1 win, then they look at the Kilmarnock game, maybe analyse the overall 90 minutes, and there's absolutely no doubt that boards act quicker than, it's not just a 24 hours, let's go you Jim McIntyre. They will have sounded out people in the background. They will have gone through the due diligence but made calls.
Oh, absolutely. There have been a discussion before saying, look, if we decide if Neil doesn't turn this around, we don't get going, we're going to bring in a new manager. Who are the candidates, really? And Jim McIntyre's got a good reputation, and him and Billy Dodds have said did a good job, and very unlucky, to have lost their position. And I think that the remit there is, you're saying, is to be top 8, but I would say top 10 is good enough. I think just to avoid relegation is what should be what sparks them off. I know they want to be higher than that, but the main aspect is they're not in the bottom 2. Well,
it's Livingston, Hearts and Celtic next up on the horizon. They are bottom of the table, but there's not this gap that you think, they can actually go there, and suddenly St Mirren, Motherwell, Hamilton and St Johnstone are not too far away, Ruffy.
No, I think St Mirren and Hamilton have proved this year so far that they're the 2 teams that look as if they're going to be down there for quite a long time.
Now, steady. No, you
haven't said they're going.
I
just said they'll be down there for a long time. They'll usually get themselves out of it at the end. But these will be the teams, you're right, that he'll be targeting, to take points off of.
I felt I jinxed Hamilton this year by not tipping them for relegation. I think most of us were like that, weren't we? We think every year we said Hamilton. All of a sudden think, Hamilton, I won't tip them this year.
Yeah.
And actually, you just wonder whether this might be their year. But as I say, there's still a long way to go. And Hamilton, they've seen it off before, haven't they? They've fought their way back, even from bottom positions.
Yeah, OK. Congratulations to Stephen Naismith. He's the Player of the Month for September. No argument with it. He's been great, not only for club, but for country as well. Scoring goals for Scotland. Of course, he bagged a hat-trick against St Mirren at the start of the month of September. So no surprise that he was awarded that Player of the Month trophy.
No, he's been a big player for Hearts, particularly. I think we saw the disappointment when he missed the penalty and he was still shouting at people over the road, even though he had missed it. But no, that just shows you he's really competitive and he wants to win. A big disappointment, you know, that obviously Lafferty left, because I thought they were going to be a partnership there, but you know, I think he'll still be high up in Hearts for the whole season.
Yeah, I think the Scotland thing might have helped him too with the goals he got. I mean, his goal the other night, even though it was a consolation goal against Portugal, was a very, very good finish.
Yeah.
That was a quality finish. It was a nice move, good bit of football from both from the players involved in it. But I think he's been a very good signing for Hearts. There's no doubt about that.
But he can play anywhere across, you know, just behind the strikers as well, Gordon. And having watched Hearts on more than a few occasions this season, you know, his work rate is exceptional. Yeah. He's a real leader and an example to younger players about the application that you have to show.
I think you're absolutely right, Peter. And it is about application. I remember seeing him as a young kid when he was just breaking into Kilmarnock, and I had my doubts then about him, because I'm thinking this boy's got talent, but physically he was very, very small and petite, really, in that respect. But he's matured, filled out a bit, but he's also, as you say, got a great work rate, strength as well. He's brilliant in the air for his size as well. He jumps really well. His timing, got a good move down to England, and I think that, you know, as you said, you know, he's proved himself by that application he's put in through his career, and in terms of his character as well. I think he'll eventually be a coach as well.
Well, here's the downsides. He picks up the award, and Hearts then reveal that 2 players are out for 5 months, Ruffy. This is a real body blow. You've got Ikpeazu. Again, he was a battering ram for Hearts, and also John Souttar at the back, which is a blow for club and for country as well. This is a double whammy, and again, you just wonder, with such injuries, suddenly, you know, a title charge can falter.
Yeah, particularly up front. You know, already touched on Lafferty leaving. That leaves him with Stephen McLean. You know, 2 strikers. I'm sure he would like more than that.
Yeah. And I don't think Craig Whiten, you know, he's taking a bit of time to just find his feet.
Yeah. He might get his opportunity now, though, because Ikpeazu, despite what he really offers is that strength up front, Peter, and be able to hold people off and create for other people. He's not a major goal scorer. He's only scored 1 goal since July, really. You know what I mean? So you're looking at it and going, what else does he offer? And he does offer other sides of it. So you're right, McLean has to come through now, but Souttar might obviously take his chance and come through as well.
Yeah, I think, well, you mean Whiten might come through.
Sorry, Whiten.
But the other thing I was going to say to you as well is January they'll go out and buy a couple of players.
Possibly they will do, especially if he's going to be out that long, because they have lost, as you said, Lafferty's away, Ikpeazu will be out for that long time. They might be able to buy it in January, they might need to. I'm looking at the back. Souttar is a blow to Hearts and Scotland, as you said, because we've got the 2 big major games coming up in November for Scotland for the qualification.
Yeah.
So you're looking at that. But, you know, the one thing that he's been playing midfield, but the guy, the boy Haring, the Austrian player, has been playing midfield, can also play centre-back. He has played centre-back before. Hearts have been using him well. So he might come into contention for there. You've got likes of Hughes. Aaron Hughes is still there too as well, who might come through. I think he's got an injury at the moment too.
It is a massive blow having your 2 first choice centre halves.
Yeah.
You know, Souttar and Berra.
Berra are both out.
That's the strength of Hearts early on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that's a blow to them. Whether it will affect them overall, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to go to Tynecastle on Saturday for Hearts against Aberdeen, which I think it's just got the makings of a cracker, because Hearts have obviously started, played good football, and I'm looking at Aberdeen and wondering whether they can, you know, suddenly get a bit of momentum, you know, a bit of traction going the right way up that table.
Yeah, well, I think Derek McInnes thinks they're on the right roll. I think if you get a more settled side, a settled 11, it seems to be 1 striker in, 1 striker out, you know, and vice versa in the midfield. But I think Hearts have to bounce back, you know, from the last game, you know. So I think you're right. I think you're picking one of the best games of the weekend.
I think it will be a good one. I think Derek McInnes will be delighted when he hears that Souttar and Ikpeazu are both now unavailable for this game, because, you know, some of the Aberdeen players, you know, got a bit of form to strike, but I think Aberdeen have got a lot of capability in their team, and I think this will be a tough game for Hearts now. Yeah,
absolutely. And apologies to Hibernian and Celtic fans who I've just heard Ruffy say it's the game of the weekend. They'll be obviously disagreeing with him, because it's second against third, Ruffy, at Celtic Celtic Park. Yeah, okay. You bailed yourself out there. I'm going to stick with Aberdeen because, quite simply, they're at the centre of something which I don't know about Europe. I feel as if we're in Groundhog Day with this whole ticket allocation nonsense. If it's not, we go through phases of saying, oh well, the winter there's a game called off. Let's have a winter shutdown. Then, of course, there's ticket allocation. It's a disgrace for teams that have to travel to Hampden. Suddenly, Aberdeen, who really made such a noise about getting an allocation of 20,000 tickets, they've only sold just over 9,000, and the SPFL have now said, OK, we're taking 5,000 back, and they'll be allocated to Rangers fans, which I think is fair.
Yeah, I think it is fair. I think it's done in black and white with every club now that these are the allocation, and if you can't sell them, give them back in enough time to give the other team, whoever it is, to sell them. We want a full stadium, we want a fantastic atmosphere, and if you can't sell all your tickets, then that's a decent thing to do.
I'm quite surprised though. I actually did think Aberdeen would sell more than what they've sold. I'm quite surprised.
A fair point though, Gordon, is it's on the telly.
I know.
And a lot of fans will look and say to themselves, money's tight, you're heading into a month where quite simply everybody's thinking, I need to put something money back for Christmas.
But even at that though, Aberdeen are always a well-supported team, even when they play in Glasgow, and they got a big travelling support. That's why I just think...
For 1 minute there, Gordon, I thought you were going to say, but even at that, it's Aberdeen, they're all loaded up there.
The oil industry's come back a bit, so there's a bit more money in Aberdeen than there was a year ago.
But fortunately, not everybody in Aberdeen works in the oil industry.
Not everybody.
But in saying that, though, they've got to hand back. They'll get a chance to sell the 5,500 tickets that they have, Ruffy, and then maybe more after that. But, you've got to be fair. You can't get to a situation where you're just selling the tickets willy-nilly in areas where, quite simply, you can't segregate, and Rangers fans would be denied it. You want it to be a showpiece where it's mobbed, it's a semi-final, great atmosphere, and hopefully a match that lives up to the hype.
Yeah, I'm sure whoever's in charge up there for making that decision will make the sensible decision. I think they've got to do it for the whole of Scottish football, because it would look ridiculous on the television. If there's blocks lying empty, it would be ridiculous.
Yeah, OK. Scott Brown's been in the news. It looks as if he's talking to Peter Lawwell and Brendan Rodgers about a possible coaching role long-term at Celtic. I don't think that's any surprise. I mean, Scott Brown, at the latter end of his career, I think has really developed into, a linchpin, a key player for Celtic. I just wonder sometimes if maybe his position at Celtic is not as high as it should be for when you consider the amount of titles he's won and how he's led that side. I wonder if people think of him as highly as maybe they should be in Celtic's, history. Well,
I think only the present-day Celtic fans can answer that one. But
I think the modern-day Celtic fans, Ruffy, really rate him highly because, for me, to get him in as a coach at Celtic's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, be captain for so long, and such a main player for Celtic, you would think they would. And you have to say that Brendan Rodgers has turned him round completely, because this is a new Scott Brown from the Scott Brown we had, obviously with everything that went with it, him in particular. But I think he's matured. He's now a captain of the team, and he acts like a captain, whereas before he was doing some silly things here and there. But we don't see that now. We see him really focused and being the captain and representing the club.
I think the main thing about it is you're looking at, if I'm going from a player to being a manager or coach, whatever, then it's the character of the person. So for him to get the job like that, he's obviously impressed the likes of Brendan Rodgers, Peter Lawwell. He's got the character to do that. The other side of it is he's obviously got a great deal of respect in the playing side of things, because they'll also have taken that into account as well. Do the players respect him? Very much so. Is he take a player that helps people, take a player that gives advice and is willing to take a lot of the onus away from them on the field as well? Yes, he's all these things, and I think that's why they're looking at him thinking this guy has become really obviously a legendary character now for Celtic.
It's funny you saying legendary character. I wonder if maybe the passage of time will accord him that status, because of his achievements.
I think he's getting closer to that now because of the length of time he's been there. As Ruffy said, he's quite right. Under Ronnie Deila, I remember when Rangers knocked Celtic out of the Cup semi-final when Ronnie Deila was the manager, everyone was saying, from that game, I remember people just saying, "Oh, Scott Brown is finished at Celtic. Really, this must be about his last season." And yet, he has recovered unbelievably. He's changed totally. He's a different player from he was that day. So
fair, Gordon, I would have said Kieran Tierney was finished under Ronnie Dyler. He's the only manager I know that managed to get a title-winning side with a group of players who were totally and utterly scunnered working under him. They can tell you one thing when they were going through press conferences, but behind the scenes, you know, he's demotivating.
I know, but since that time, Scott Brown's just turned that around, hasn't he? He's come back, fought back brilliantly well, and he's still capable if he was wanting to. He could still play for Scotland now. No doubt.
Easily. I think he's got another 3 or 4 years in him. I might, you know, maybe he doesn't, but I think he's got the legs to do it. The one thing I was going to say to you, Ruffy, and it's something that we posed the question a couple of weeks ago with regards to Hearts and their head-to-head with Rangers. The question now, you know, goes back to Hibs. If you are one of those serious teams that are in the mix and we want them to be competitive, you have to go to Celtic Park and beat the champions.
Yeah, we keep saying that about all the challenging teams. We keep saying that about Aberdeen as well. Aberdeen, you need to come down to Glasgow and you need to beat the Rangers and Celtic. And Hibs and Hearts will know that as well. They'll not be kidding themselves on. There'll not be a challenge to go there. Hibs went there last year and done reasonably well. I think it was 2 each, wasn't it? John McGinn scored both goals. So I think last year the fear factor had went out of going to Parkhead and possibly Ibrox as well. So that's what these teams have to do. They have to go there with no fear whatsoever and believe that they can come away with something.
I think it's a very interesting fixture, actually. It wasn't really just wait to see, because I'll give Neil Lennon a lot of credit. At the beginning of the season, I'm thinking he's lost his key players. He lost a midfield, basically. Yeah. And yet, he has built well. The players he brought in now are beginning to play. And they're playing a lot of good football, scoring goals. So I think that Neil Lennon's getting things going there. So he had a win last year against Celtic, a good win he had there. And as I say, I think that he'll be wanting to test his team now, and this will be a measure for him where Hibs are coming from. And if they win there, then we have got a title race on. There's no doubt about it. Not just one team, but maybe even 3 or 4.
Yeah, and of course they're just sneakily in the background getting out of contract players signed for them. Charalambos Mavrias, a Greek defender, in there to solidify things at the back as well.
Yeah, another one that's a name, you know, we obviously don't know much about, but obviously he's done a bit of research. There's been agents involved here. Maybe he's just identified him from maybe even watching a video or a game.
Peter did well to remember his name there. They're like, did you read it? Mambros. I remember Mambros. Mambros.
It's one of those ones. Don't listen. You're not the only ones. He actually pronounced it to help everybody when he signed for Hibs. So really? That's why I've been at it all afternoon.
It has to be cut down.
It
has to be shortened.
Oh, it's Chaz by the end.
Need a nickname.
It's Chaz at the end of the week.
Need a nickname.
To be perfectly honest with you, it's the same with Alexei Mikhailichenko. It's Alex, you know, Absolutely. Something like that. Just with that in mind, talking about Rangers, the Northern Ireland boss Michael O'Neill's going to speak to Kyle Lafferty, Gordon, with regards to this pulling out. He still wants him to play for Northern Ireland because they need strikers, need good strikers, and he certainly is a talisman for them. I still think, you know, at the end of the day, you can't get to a situation where you pick and choose. This is a nonsense. Kyle Lafferty, his club said he was fit, so Northern Ireland expect him, and he pulls out.
That was a surprise that, you know, Rangers said he was fit. He made a statement on it saying he's okay.
Well, why is that a surprise?
Because
he's fit. Something in the background the boys done.
But why did they have to make a statement? He just said, I'm not fit, and then that could have been left there. That's why he's not there. But then Rangers come out and say, no, he is. And that puts them in a position, and they're suffering from it now from saying that, because what's happened is if Northern Ireland comply with the regulations, which they can do, they can say,
they have done.
Yeah, they have done. Sorry, you can't play on Saturday. So by Rangers coming out and making that statement to say no, he is fit, then it's cost them having a striker available for their match.
Maybe he should have just said he was short of fitness.
Yeah. Or maybe he said he wanted. Maybe he should have said he wants to go back to his club to work on his fitness.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever tried that? No, I've never heard that one before.
But just a thought. Okay, one of our pundits, Barry Ferguson's accepted the job at Kelty Hearts. Ruffy, I'm not going to say it's a strange one, because Kelty Hearts are a club with real ambitions. They've got a bit of money behind them, obviously in the Lowland League. And the one thing that we know from speaking to Barry on a regular basis, he was itching to get back into coaching. My personal opinion is, and this is just me personally, he should have waited and maybe got a professional club. I think he's got so much to offer. I think a bigger club could have taken him in as a coach, never mind an assistant or a manager or whatever. Maybe a bigger club could use his skills. I just cannot believe, a player of his standing did not get a bigger club. He had Clyde. There was mitigating circumstances, I think, for him not making a bigger success of it.
I think he'll be pleasantly surprised by the professionalism of some of the teams. And take Kelty Hearts into that. Now they've moved out the juniors and went into the Lowland League. I think there's an ambition there. You've already said Barry was at Clyde. No disrespect to Clyde, but I think that Kelty Hearts would be as big as Clyde. I think a fan base at Kelty Hearts, fan base at Kelty Hearts being successful and where they are, particularly with Barry being there, will attract a big support. I think. So
you might have more resources there. They will
be professional enough. I think Barry was a wee bit disillusioned by the committees and boards and all that. So maybe, and he's waited long enough for somebody to approach him. Yeah. So he's obviously said to himself, I'm missing it and I want to be back in the game. The owner from Kelty Hearts has obviously promised him things, and they are an ambitious club. They've always been up at the top of junior football, but they now are a Lowland League team and they're sitting up the top of the league. So there is a progression into Scottish football for him now. Yeah,
so you can only blow it if they're top of the league. The other thing I was going to say to you though, Gordon, is he's been offered some clubs in the professional league, but I think I take Ruffy's point. Kelty Hearts are a forward-thinking club. They've got a bit of money behind them. It's got a great set-up there. I know the structure in the background, training facilities, etc. I think maybe the deciding factor, as Ruffy mentioned there, is if you take a lower league club in the professional divisions that we have, some of them are operating and you wonder why they're professional at all.
I know what you mean, as I say, but there's some of the clubs, as I say, I find it tough. I mean, it's only just the pyramid system isn't long in there. I was one of the ones that was very much in favour of it when I was at the SFA, because I thought there's certain clubs that are getting it easy for them for such a long time, whereas there are clubs at the lower levels outside the professional leagues that could actually come through and make it. I mean, we've already seen in years gone past teams like even Inverness coming in to the leagues and doing really well. So in Edinburgh City, and now are sitting top of the League Two at the moment, aren't they? So you're looking at scenarios like that and you're thinking, as Ruffy says though, he's maybe Barry's sat down with the people that are running the club and really got a good feeling for it in terms of where they want to go and where they can go in terms of the resources that will be there should you move it up through the division. So I'm pleased for him. I would like to wish him all the best as well. Hopefully he does well.
Fingers crossed. OK, just before we finish, to the women's game yesterday, Barcelona against Glasgow City. It didn't quite go according to plan. It's a step up in class for Glasgow City. They lost by 5-0. Scott Booth, the Glasgow City boss, as you would expect, downhearted after that defeat.
The scoreline not good, obviously. It's not the scoreline that we wanted, and I think that we started the game really well. We had a game plan of organisation that we knew would make it difficult for Barcelona, but that doesn't incorporate making mistakes really. And the first goal was a really well taken goal from them, kind of set them up, got them, I think, settled a little bit because, as I say, we'd started the game well and they were finding it difficult to break us down. And then, of course, the goals that came after that, they're avoidable goals really, so they're the ones that really hurt you.
Thanks to Glasgow City TV for that interview. Didn't quite work out. It was always going to be an uphill struggle.
Yeah, it certainly was, and I think Leanne was honest enough to know that these teams that are left in the last 16 are all possibly semi-professional teams. Glasgow City have been fantastic over the year in representing, Scotland going in there, and all the other. What they've done is they've made all the other teams better. Hibs are now challenging, and it's not a one-way street in the league as well. So no, I think the girls will really enjoy playing in that tournament.
Okay, thanks to Ruffy and Gordon. We leave you with news that we were organising our Christmas night out, and Ruffy says yet again he's not available on the date that we've all picked. What do we do? That could be tomorrow night's competition. What do we do with Ruffy? And he's not a team player coming to all our official nights out. You can give us your thoughts on that, and of course any of the football issues. The big man, look at him remaining resolute. Is it his pals or indeed his workmates he wants to hang about with? From Ruffy, from Gordon and from myself, Peter Martin, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.
Welcome everybody to Barry and Ruffy's show here. We are going to play PES 2019. As you know, we have to select two sides. I have picked Coca-Cola from the Mexican League, and Barry has picked Barcelona. So both of us are very expert at this, so as you'll soon see that it's going to be very competitive, and let's see who wins.
Right, let's go, let's kick off. Here we go. Bang! Okay, that's right. Oh, there. Just keep the ball. Keep the ball. Where's Ruffy?
Oh! Oh, it's an own goal! Oh,
Messi.
shoot! Oh! What's that clown doing?
Coutinho, there you go. Lovely. Hey, come on, Ruffy.
Pass.
That's better.
Oh, I'm not even doing in here. Who are you passing to? Going half him into. Half him. That's
By the way, that's not right.
This thing's vibrating. There's something in this. Superb, magnificent.
Battered you. We've had a chance to play PES 2019. Now it's your chance.
All you have to do is like and share.
For your chance to win an Xbox in PES 2019.